When does this get easier? Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Podcast and Podcast where you don't have to Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Wish the Packers were on here. Grossi, and today we are going to be breaking down and ranking the top 10 teams heading into week 6 of the NFL. And I figured at this point, it had to have gotten easier, right? There would have been some separation from the top teams, or maybe they start blowing some teams out some more. But no, the Eagles had a tough time this week. The Chiefs had a tough time this week. The Ravens, the Packers lost to the Giants. The Vikings somehow are 4-1. And yet, here we are in week 6, and nobody knows what the hell is going on.
What the hell's going on out here?
Got it? Good. Welcome to the NFL. So starting off with number 10, you got the LA Chargers. The Chargers, I feel kind of bad for their fans, or at least the 3 that are in the crowd. And I know that that's an old joke, but you know what else is old? Giving your fans a heart attack every single frackin' week. It's like the Chargers are immunized from just having a normal week. A week where they just win, it's easy, they don't have to worry about last-second field goal attempts or missed field goals from the Browns. But nay. The good news, though, for Chargers fans is that Austin Eckler has finally found his groove again, and now they're actually utilizing him. Because Austin Eckler, another week over 100 yards, had a receiving touchdown, had a touchdown on the ground. This is good. Justin Herbert looks to be recovered from his injury, looked pretty solid on Sunday. The thing that I have with the Chargers is just they give you heart attacks every single week, and it's kind of hard to trust a team that constantly does that. Now, the other good news is that the Raiders and the Broncos are not really too good. They have second place pretty much locked in the AFC West. It's just going to be, can they win enough games to get them into the playoffs? And with the looks of the AFC right now, the answer might be yes, but it's going to be up to the Chargers to see how many fans are actually going to be alive to watch them in the playoffs this year. Number 9, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hey, you guys want to hear a joke? What's Tom Brady's favorite animal? Huh? Did you guess zebra? Wrong. It was a platypus.
A platypus?
It's just a well-known fact. But the Zebras were looking out for Tom Brady this past Sunday, and I know Buccaneers fans are going to come in here and be like, well, what about the defensive pass interference or the holding? And listen, here's what I'm going to say. The refs were just bad. They were bad in a whole bunch of games in week 5 of the NFL, but you kind of feel a little bad for the Falcons because the Buccaneers, listen, they blew that lead. They got no run game really to speak of at all. They were up 21-0, and they were barely able to contain the Falcons, who scored 15 fourth quarter points. That's a concern. The Buccaneers do not look like the same old Buccaneers of old. It's also kind of like the Packers, but we're not even going to talk about that. Their offensive line is beaten up, and Tom Brady is still throwing the ball 50-plus times a game, and the defense doesn't look the same either. The Buccaneers are still in a position where they probably can still win the division. However, the Saints, with whoever their QB is going to be from week to week, they definitely can win games, and the Falcons, I mean, they're putting up a fight every single week. And then there's the Panthers. They're just happy that Matt Rule got fired. But the Buccaneers, again, should be able to win their division. Just, I don't know if they're going to do it convincingly. Number 8, this was a tough one to rank. You got the San Francisco 49ers. Easy win against the Panthers, and Panthers fans, yeah, you might be a little disappointed that you lost, but oh boy, you won so much more. And that's no longer having Matt Rule as your head coach. So that's a positive. 6 sacks for the 49ers defense, over 150 rushing yards on the day. They are in a bad division in which it looks like the Seahawks are their real competition here because the Rams, they don't have an offensive line. The problem here is that the 49ers lost a lot of guys due to injury, so that obviously is not going to help this team. However, their defense still is pretty damn good, and if they just commit to running the football and Jimmy G doesn't turn the ball over, Yeah, they'll probably still make the playoffs. Number 7. You got the 4-1 Minnesota Vikings. How? Maybe this is redemption. Maybe it's retribution. Maybe it's payback from all the close games they didn't win last year, and they're just getting them all now. The Vikings are somehow the best team in the North. Actually, it's not too surprising because the NFC North is not that great this year, and currently holds the number 2 seed in the NFC. Explain that one. The Vikings were beaten up on the Chicago Bears. Dalvin Cook had over 90 yards and 2 tutties. Justin Jefferson over 100 yards. And then their defense was like, nah, come on down, Justin Fields. Look like a competent QB. And the Bears almost stole one away from the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the Vikings are in a very interesting position. They already beat the Packers week 1. The Packers are down bad right now, so the Vikings are in sole possession of the NFC North. The thing is, can they hold on to it? That's going to be the ultimate question. Their offense is definitely good. They can score points. It's just going to be a matter of, can they sustain this throughout the season? So right now, the Vikings are 4-1, and I just continue to be sad. Number 6. You've been waiting so long. You got the New York Football Giants. That's right. Take your New Jersey label and throw it in the trash.
Forget about it. This is New York.
The Giants went across the pond and defeated the Green Bay Packers. And why? Well, the second half, they played great defense. It also helped that the Packers stopped running the football. On top of that, Daniel Jones, bloody hand and all, didn't make any mistakes. Saquon Barkley left the game, then came back, had a crucial touchdown in that game. But what I really think it comes down to, and why the Giants have been able to win this many games, even with all their injuries, lack of talent, etc., is because of Brian Daboll. They should already have a shrine up for Brian Daboll with the light and heavens glistening off of his bald head, because he is a damn good coach. I loved what he did in Buffalo, and he is turning it around for the Giants this year. So are the Giants actually for real? Bare minimum, they are a scrappy football team, and while they're in a division with the Cowboys and the Eagles, who are doing well, don't sleep on the Giants. They have a good defense. Saquon Barkley is running well. That's the formula that you need to be successful. They do have a rough stretch of the schedule coming up, but listen, they proved themselves on Sunday, and we'll see how it goes for the rest of the season. Number 5, you got the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens, you didn't choke it away in the second half. You tried, but Zach Taylor was like, you silly gooses. I'm gonna run a Philly special on second down and lose 13 yards. The Ravens, watching this game has to be infuriating for Ravens fans, because they have so much talent on the offensive side of the ball. Of course, you have Lamar Jackson, who looked good at times and then completely overthrew guys at times. He missed at least 3 touchdowns on Sunday night. But you have guys like Duvernay, who look so good. J.K. Dobbins running the ball well. And they are a rushing football team. But it just seems that every chance they get, they just shoot themselves in the foot just a tiny bit to make it competitive. Justin Tucker having the game-winning field goal to seal it because he's Mr. Automatic. And I'm going to chalk this one up to a division game. That's why it was as close as it was. But there is a pattern here that the Ravens do not put opponents away. You saw it against the Dolphins, you saw it against the Bills, and you almost saw it here against the Bengals. So the Ravens are in the top 5 here just because, there's not a lot of other teams that I could put here. There are concerns, but they keep on winning football games. And right now, they're leading their division. Number 4, you got the Dallas Cowboys defense. Because the offense, they're running the football well, which is a positive thing. Cooper Rush, 10 for 16, 102 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Had one really bad throw, but didn't turn the ball over. And that's really all you need from Cooper Rush, because the defense, they're going to take care of you, Cowboys. Don't you worry. Their defense, 5 sacks on the day. They're blocking things. They're running things back for TDs. 163 rushing yards from the offense with Zeke and Pollard. And that's what the Cowboys need to be. It's not pretty football. It's not exciting football. Trust me, I watch the games. But it is winning football. The real test is going to come against Philadelphia on Sunday night. And are they going to be able to slow down that Eagles offense? If they are, well, then the Cowboys will be the best team in the division. And if not, they'll probably be waiting for Dak to come back. Number 3, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. Close game on Monday Night Football. They went down big against the Raiders and clawed their way back. Yes, there's a lot of questionable officiating, of course, a roughing the passer, which was just egregious. Then you had the holding call on the missed field goal, which led to touchdowns. And speaking of touchdowns, Travis Kelce, 4 touchdowns on the night. Basically had 25 yards, but still got 4 tutties. The Chiefs are a team, and this is no surprise to anybody, that is gritty. They can battle back, and they can score at any point. Now, I didn't expect them to struggle so much with the Raiders, especially at home, but again, it's a divisional game, and they have to thank the fact that Josh McDaniels kind of an idiot for them to be as successful as they were on Monday night. But the Chiefs, still a really good football team. Their test is also going to come this Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. You have the top 2 teams in the AFC battling it out. Let's see if they can get it done. Number 2, you have the most dominant win besides the Patriots of the week, and that is the Buffalo Bills. Absolutely mauling the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their defense just not giving them any room to do anything. Now, I will say it's a rookie QB, and on top of that, the Steelers' offensive line is hot garbage, and they couldn't get a run game going to save their lives. But still impressive from the Buffalo Bills. And the best part about it is Gabe Davis. He has emerged as a superstar for Buffalo, and now you have 2 great receivers in Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. Watch out. This Buffalo team can put up a lot of points, and I know they are fighting through a lot of injuries right now, but they are still winning. And as I said for the Chiefs, their real test comes Sunday against Kansas City, and all I know is that is going to be a hell of a game to watch. And number 1, holding on to that number 1 spot with a death grip, you got the only undefeated team in football. You got the Philadelphia Eagles. A little bit of a close call, a little dicey against the Arizona Cardinals. You, of course, had a missed field goal, which definitely helped at the end. Jalen Hurts, no tutties through the air, but 2 touchdowns on the ground. He was also their leading rusher, which was a little surprising. You would think that Miles Sanders would get a little bit more yards there. And they looked a little beatable this past Sunday. But listen, you can't stay perfect in the NFL in terms of consistency, but they can stay perfect in terms of wins. So it doesn't really matter how they got there. They still are 5-0. As I said before, their real test is also coming Sunday Night Football at home against a very good Dallas Cowboys defense. We'll see who will be sitting on top the NFC East after Sunday night. And we also might have a police horse being punched in the face, even if they win. And so the top 10 teams this week: number 1, you got the Eagles. Number 2, the Bills. Number 3, the Chiefs. Number 4, the Cowboys. Number 5, the Ravens. Number 6, the Giants. Number 7, the Vikings. 8, 49ers. 9, the Buccaneers. And number 10, the Chargers. But let me know who you think should be on this list, who shouldn't. And hopefully my Packers will be on this list next week, and not the Jets. But let me know. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or TomGrossiComedy, all social media see down below. Check out Patcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the patrons over patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack, go.